Hello, America! Welcome to another week of desperately trying to predict the future, an endeavor about as reliable as a screen door on a submarine. But hey, at least we're in this together, right? Join us as we delve into the murky waters of US news, where the only guarantee is that absolutely nothing is guaranteed. This week, we'll be gazing into our very own crystal ball, one that's probably just a snow globe filled with anxiety and broken promises, to bring you the most likely, though entirely not guaranteed, news predictions. From the economy looking more precarious than a Jenga tower built by a toddler hopped up on sugar, to the political landscape resembling a circus where the clowns are armed and the elephants have better healthcare plans, we've got you covered. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. It's the digital equivalent of throwing a nickel in a wishing well, except instead of wishing for world peace, you're wishing for us to keep making these videos. Also, check out our affiliate links in the description for some great deals. Alright folks, let's talk about the economy, shall we? That fickle beast that seems to have more mood swings than a teenager on a sugar rush. This week, all eyes are on the Federal Reserve and their big interest rate decision. Will they hike it again? Will they finally give us a break? Or will they just keep us in agonizing suspense like a season finale of a show we're not even sure we like anymore? The stock market, meanwhile, is having its own existential crisis, trying to figure out if it wants to go up, down, or just sideways like a crab on roller skates. Q3 earnings are rolling in, and let's just say expectations are about as high as a limbo champion with a bad back. Add to that the looming holiday shopping season, and you've got yourself a recipe for economic indigestion. Will consumers open their wallets, or will they be holding on tight to their hard-earned cash like a squirrel hoarding nuts for a never-ending winter? And speaking of nuts, inflation is still lurking around like an unwelcome house guest who refuses to leave. It's enough to make you want to bury your savings in the backyard and hope for the best. But hey, at least we have each other, right? And by each other, I mean you, our loyal viewers, and the soothing balm of late-stage capitalism. So buckle up, butter your biscuits, and let's dive into the economic abyss together. Who knows, maybe we'll find $1 or $2 at the bottom. Well folks, the political circus is back in town, and this week promises more drama than a reality TV show about a family of raccoons fighting over a dumpster fire. The 2024 election is still a year away, but the campaign trail is already more crowded than a clown car at rush hour. We can expect a fresh batch of campaign announcements, each one more bizarre and baffling than the last. Meanwhile, the primary debates are shaping up to be less about policy and more about who can yell the loudest and make the most outrageous promises. It's like watching a political game show where the grand prize is the soul of the nation. And then, there's the ongoing legal saga of our former president, a man whose relationship with the law is about as stable as a Jenga tower built on a trampoline. We can expect more lawsuits, more indictments, and more of that signature defiance that makes you wonder if he's ever actually read the Constitution. Oh, and let's not forget about Congress, where the two parties are engaged in a perpetual game of chicken over the budget. Will they reach a compromise? Will they shut down the government again? Or will they just continue to bicker and grandstand while the country slowly crumbles around them? Stay tuned, folks, because in the theater of American politics, the curtain never seems to close. Well, folks, it's time to address the elephant in the room, or rather, the deeply divided nation in the room. America's social fabric is looking more frayed than a cheap suit after a bar fight, and this week, those fault lines are only going to deepen. Gun control, that perennial hot-button issue, will once again rear its ugly head. Expect more passionate pleas for stricter laws, met with equally fervent defenses of the Second Amendment. Will anything change? Probably not, but hey, at least we can all agree that thoughts and prayers are totally useless without concrete action. Speaking of things that are unlikely to change, the Supreme Court, that bastion of legal wisdom, or is it judicial activism, is poised to drop some bombshell rulings. From abortion rights to affirmative action, they'll be weighing in on issues that divide Americans more than pineapple on pizza. And as if we didn't have enough to worry about, climate change is still very much a thing. Expect more extreme weather events, more dire warnings from scientists, and more apathy from those in power. But hey, at least we'll have plenty of content for our doom scrolling, right? On a brighter note, there will likely be protests. Lots and lots of protests. Because in America, if you don't yell and march about the things that matter to you, who will? So, grab your signs, practice your chants, and let's get ready to exercise our First Amendment rights. It's the most American thing we can do. Hold on to your hats, folks, because the tech world is moving faster than a self-driving car with a lead foot. This week, expect more headlines about artificial intelligence, that double-edged sword that promises to solve all our problems while simultaneously threatening to enslave humanity. Governments around the world are scrambling to regulate AI before it becomes sentient and decides we're all just fleshy batteries. Will they succeed? Who knows, but it'll be fun to watch them try. Meanwhile, big tech companies are still under the microscope, facing accusations of everything from antitrust violations to privacy breaches. It's enough to make you want to ditch your smartphone, move to a remote cabin in the woods and live off the grid. But then how would you watch our videos? Speaking of technology taking over our lives, automation is coming for our jobs, and this week, those fears will be amplified. From truck drivers to factory workers, millions of Americans are worried about being replaced by robots. And frankly, who can blame them? Robots don't need coffee breaks, sick days, or emotional support after a bad breakup. On a lighter note, there's always space exploration to distract us from our impending robot overlords. Expect more breathtaking images from the James Webb Telescope, more ambitious missions to Mars, and maybe even an announcement about a new space toilet that doesn't require a PhD in astrophysics to operate. Alright folks, let's talk about healthcare, shall we? That joyous experience that often feels like playing a game of roulette with your well-being. This week we're keeping an eye on those pesky COVID-19 variants because apparently the virus decided to take a page from the Hollywood playbook and just keep churning out sequels. Will there be a new booster? Will mask mandates make a comeback? Only time, and the CDC will tell. Meanwhile, the vaccine rollout continues, though not without its share of hiccups and controversies. Expect more debates about mandates, more misinformation spreading faster than a virus itself, and more exasperated sighs from healthcare workers who just want to help people, for God's sake. And speaking of things that are enough to make you want to reach for the ibuprofen, the opioid crisis continues to grip the nation. We can expect more heartbreaking stories of addiction, more lawsuits against pharmaceutical companies, and more calls for comprehensive solutions that address the root causes of this epidemic. So yeah, healthcare in America, it's complicated, it's expensive, and it's probably not going to get any better anytime soon, but hey, at least we have dark humor to get us through it, right? Alright folks, let's escape the dumpster fire of reality for a moment and delve into the wonderful world of entertainment and sports where the stakes are high, the emotions are real, and the consequences are, well, mostly non-existent for us viewers. First up, Hollywood is teetering on the brink of a potential labor strike because apparently even people who make millions of dollars pretending to be other people have problems. Will actors and writers walk off the job? Will our favorite shows grind to a halt? Will we be forced to have actual conversations with our families instead of binge-watching Netflix? Only time will tell. Speaking of Netflix, the streaming wars continue to rage on, with each platform trying to outdo the other with bigger budgets, bigger stars, and bigger... well, you get the idea. Expect more announcements of new shows and movies, more cancellations that make you question humanity's taste, and more subscription fees that make you wonder if cable TV was actually the cheaper option. On the sports front, the NFL season is in full swing, which means it's time to pretend to care about fantasy football and argue with strangers online about whether or not that was a catch. Expect more touchdowns, more tackles, and more concussion protocols that make you wonder if this sport is worth the human cost. And finally, the countdown to the 2024 Summer Olympics has begun, which means it's time to start training, by which I mean sitting on the couch and watching other people train while eating potato chips. And there you have it, folks, our completely speculative and not at all guaranteed news predictions for the week ahead. Will any of it actually come true? Probably not, but hey, it's the hope that kills you, right? Thanks for joining us on this wild ride through the American news cycle. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you want to see more of our questionable attempts at predicting the future. And be sure to check out our affiliate links in the description because nothing says I'm informed about current events like buying a tactical flashlight or a year's supply of freeze-dried ice cream. Stay informed, stay skeptical, and most importantly, stay sane out there, America. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and comment to stay updated with our weekly news predictions. Check out our affiliate links in the description for some great deals.